Hello, everyone. It's Nat and Al, and we are back with another episode of Formation, talking all things Belgian Grand Prix. We have a lot to discuss after heading to Spa this weekend with Formula One. So let's dive right into it. Al,
Hello, welcome
are you?
back. How great was it just to see cars on the track?
Just to have plans for the weekend, I thought, you know what? Got something to do this weekend. Formula One is back. Thank God.
Thank God. And for us in Australia, I have to admit, the timings are always pretty horrible for us, but it was just great to be able to watch a sprint race at a normal time,
Yep.
some practice at a normal time, and as we will talk about, had to stay up an extra little later for the race.
So much to discuss regarding that.
Absolutely. But it was just so great to be back. I know the both of us love this track and love seeing what happens on this track, and the drivers themselves as well love this track. So it was really nice to come back from the break.
It is. And I missed you. So it's great. It's good
I
to
know.
see you again face to face-ish.
Face to face-ish.
Face to face-ish.
But yeah, it was good. It was a good start. I mean, I think the one thing that we were really concerned about for this weekend was the weather and the uncertainty on the weather. Always the case though when it comes to Spa and its unpredictability, right? So they started off pretty strong though in practice.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, the weather at the start was going to be raining every day, and then it chopped and changed. And then it was, are we going to get any rain at all? We started off the weekend with practice and sprint qualifying and then into the sprint. I think first up, I thought, wow, Max is absolutely rapid. I don't know I can't remember what your predictions were, but I was like, Max is going to just come in and have a clean sweep of the weekend, as he often does in Spa. And then when he didn't get that pole position, I thought, yep, it's definitely happening, because historically, if you get pole at Spa, you don't win the race. So, and that was literally what happened in the sprint, wasn't it?
That sprint qualifying actually was pretty exciting. I loved watching that last go around, because they were just bang, Max hit it, and you were just like, oh God, are the McLarens even going to make this happen? Lando came in behind him, upped him, and then Oscar just came in and just nailed it. It was
Half
just
a second.
fastest lap ever around Spa. Who is he?
Yeah, it wasn't by small margins either. When it comes to Formula One, half a second's basically like 4 hours. So yeah, he punched that in, and I didn't think anyone was going to be able to top him. But then when we saw the track evolution, as those cars were just whipping around that track, they were gaining and gaining. We saw Racing Bulls putting in purple sectors. We saw, I think at one point, Gabby put in a purple sector, and I was like, wow, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
Where is everyone finishing?
Even both Haas drivers as well. It was just a really good, obviously, the weather gods was on everyone's side.
Yes.
For that. But yeah, no, it was, a really great sprint qualifying session.
It was. And I think just to round out the sprint, we obviously saw Max get that amazing overtake done on Oscar on lap 1, which was just epic. I don't think Oscar didn't even have time to look in his mirrors. Max has already passed him.
It was Max magic.
It was.
Really? I just stood there and went, yep.
Bravo.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. And to do that on the first race with a new team principal, just setting the tone of, like you said, this new era for Red Bull.
Yeah.
What a way to kick it off with a win in the sprint.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, well done to Max.
Well done, Max. And we both predicted that he would be really strong this weekend, and there were quite a few of, followers of ours even that were saying he will be really great in the sprint, but maybe not so much in the main race. So, really, really good from him.
Yeah, well done to Max. Anything else you wanted to cover off in the sprint?
I think that we already touched on it. That mix of the Red Bull versus McLaren versus straight line speed versus corner.
Yes.
It just really showed where both those cars were strongest. And then obviously the Red Bull coming out on top and in favour of the straight line speed. So
yeah. Overtaking proved to be quite challenging this weekend, which usually isn't the case in the past. They've been able to overtake a little bit more easily, which was surprising, I think, for all the drivers. They knew that if they didn't get it done in turn 1 or in certain areas, there was no way they were going to be getting heaps of overtakes done. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well done to Max, and what a way to kick off with Laurent Mekies as the new team principal.
It was a really great weekend for all 4 cars.
Until Sunday.
Until Sunday. But it was looking up. It was looking up.
It was looking up. I think, yeah, we'll get into that, but I definitely think overall positive feelings for Red Bull and both Racing Bulls coming out of the weekend.
Yeah,
Which,
absolutely.
you know what? Let's just go straight into qualifying.
Let's go.
Because, as you said, we had 4 Red Bull cars, 2 Red Bulls and 2 Racing Bulls, all make it into Q3, which I don't know, has that happened this season?
I don't think so.
I don't think it
No,
has.
I don't think it has.
No.
Love, love, love.
Some disappointments for qualifying.
A lot, actually.
A lot, but personally,
I know.
Lewis Hamilton, track limits, like what?
I know. Yeah, he really didn't have a good run.
No. And we know what Lewis is capable of around Spa. And I just think if he had have just qualified a little bit higher, what would have happened this weekend?
Could have been some more red on the podium, possibly.
I know, but yeah.
So really upsetting for him because you probably saw this as well, and I'm sure most people did, but he also was like, "Oh, was that okay?"
Yeah.
He knew as well
Yeah.
that was most likely going to be track limits. And then also we had a lot of people have laps deleted.
Yeah.
It was like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Bearman, Bortoletto.
Oscar had one deleted as well. I can't remember which session it was, but he was fine. He put in a flyer right after. But yeah, everyone was getting track limits.
Yeah. Colapinto, Antonelli, there's quite a few going around. But yeah, just that real disappointing Q1 exit from Lewis.
And Antonelli.
Poor
thing.
Yeah, poor Kimmy. He's having a bit of a rough trot, isn't he?
He has these amazing highs, and then he just has these lows as well, which it's inevitable in a rookie season. I think we just know what he's capable of. So we expect a little bit more from him, and then when he doesn't deliver that, it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah. But you know what? He'll get up and get on.
Oh, for sure.
Just a bump.
For sure. A little bit ironic that past 2 sprint races we had Kimi and Lewis getting pole, and then subsequently this weekend both going out in Q1. It's just like, oh, really? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. But no, before qualifying, I thought Oscar was a shoo-in for pole. Didn't you? He had them covered by half a second in sprint quali, so I just thought it was, all bets are off. That's it.
Yeah. I was there with you on that one. It was great also just to see a couple of the newer drivers in there, like some suspects that we don't usually see in Q3, but also with those 3, the Oscar, Lando and Max, they didn't even better their time at last go, and I was just like, what's happened here?
Yeah. Oscar did say he had a moment which cost him the 4/10 or whatever it was. But then a little part of me is like, did Oscar have the moment on purpose because he knows that starting on the other side of the grid is more beneficial on Sunday?
Yeah, he was a bit cheeky as well when he came off that and said, well, it might be better to start in second anyway. And I was like, okay.
Was that planned, Oscar?
Yeah. Oh, no, but it was great. So Lando obviously got pole. Really,
Mega.
McLaren's had a 13-year drought at Spa. So really good to lock out the front row for them. And Charles.
I know, my prediction.
Oh, Charles. And we'll go into it, but yeah, it was great to see him on P3 and get a little bit of that Ferrari action in there, especially when, Lewis had that Q1 exit. Max was having grip issues, which resulted in him being P4. Who else? Was there anyone else that was a standout in qualifying?
As we touched on a little bit before, we had both of the Racing Bulls making it into Q3, which for them, fantastic. I think,
absolutely,
especially with the new team principal, what a way to kick it off.
Big group hug.
We also had Gabby in Q3 as well.
Yeah.
Just edging out Nico.
That's right.
Yeah. We had Alexander Albon. Alexander Albon.
Oh my God, we cannot forget this because
we cannot.
Oh shit, I just swore. We cannot forget Alex Albon because
P5 in the sprint and P5 for qualifying for the main race.
Yes.
Great
lap.
High five for Alex Albon.
Cheers to Alex.
Yes, cheers. Maybe he should change his number to 5.
He can be 5 and then Carlos can be 5-5.
Yeah.
And then together they're angel numbers.
Yeah.
Really great run from Alex.
All right. So then the race.
The race.
Okay, before we dive into the race results, I think we need to have a little red flag moment ourselves and pause and talk about, do you think the race should have been red flagged? If so, why? Why not? Do you think they red flagged it too long, too little? Was a rolling start appropriate? What are your thoughts? Talk to me.
All the thoughts.
All the thoughts.
Wow. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think we've experienced a weather and safety protocol like this thus far this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was quite an interesting one at the start of the race when we had that pre-start build-up. The cars were on the grid. Rain was intensifying during that 30 minutes, which then obviously prompted race control to, you know, hold off waving the green flag. I was like, okay, fine, get it. And then obviously, like, they did the one lap under the safety car for formation. All the drivers, well, not all of them, most of them were reporting that there was quite severe spray and zero visibility. So dangerous. And you could tell, like, you could see it on the footage. So obviously they made a call at that point to suspend the race or delay it. And gosh, an hour and a half of my time that I'm never getting back, especially at 1:00 in the morning.
I know.
So obviously there's a lot of opinion going around about this. Safety is number one, right? I think a lot of the drivers have just something, you know, always constantly in the back of your mind with everything that's happened on that track as well in the past.
Yeah.
That's why these protocols are in place, right?
Correct. So do you agree?
I agree that the safety protocol was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should have suspended it for that long. What is your opinion?
So I agree as well in terms of at that moment, visibility was low and it's the safest thing to do. And as a racing director, I think those 20 drivers' lives fall in your hands. If you're the one that says go ahead and God forbid something bad happens, the buck stops with them.
Yep.
So they're obviously going to err on the side of caution. However, we did hear some drivers say, it's fine, let's try a few laps. What are we doing? You know, Max Verstappen was making it clear that he wanted to race.
So did Lewis.
So did Lewis. And I think maybe in those instances, give the drivers a vote, yay or nay. Where, you know, majority rules. Because at the end of the day, they're behind the wheel. They know better than everyone what the conditions are like. Let them decide and put it to a vote. And this is what's going around at the moment. Have we seen the last of the wet races? You know what I mean? And that's sad too, because it really equalizes the drivers and you get to see magic happen. It's in those moments of extreme weather and things like that where legends are born, really. We know Lewis's history in the rain. Max, he's done masterclass after masterclass of races in the rain.
Yeah.
And it's what gives you the goosebumps, the excitement when you see that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fully there with you. And like there was a moment there as well while it was still delayed. The sun was out, the sky was blue, and I get that it wasn't necessarily about the amount of water that was on the track. It was about the spray. It's really interesting though, because it was Max and Lewis that were kind of leading that, like, what are we doing? Let's get out and race. On the flip side of it, you had Oscar and Charles saying, no, it was the right call. And those two drivers were in front of the other two. So they would have been getting less spray than the rest. Yeah, it was just really interesting to hear that was the case.
But I do think as well, drivers had strategic reasons for either saying, yeah, let's race or let's not over the radio. Oscar didn't want to race because he even said it at the end. He would have preferred a standing start because he thought a rolling start would have taken the opportunity to overtake from him at the beginning. Subsequently, we saw the result and it didn't. But a standing start after the rain had cleared was more advantageous for Oscar in that moment. So was he coming from a point of, yeah, that's better for my strategy, or the conditions aren't good enough, let's not race?
Yeah.
I think
there's definitely, you know, you're never going to know.
We can argue both sides of this, I think, for hours.
Exactly. I'd say it'd be a little bit of both. Absolutely.
For sure.
But the rolling start, I was like, come on, really?
Yeah. We've waited this long and we're going to have a rolling start.
I know. And look, at the end of the day, as a McLaren fan, I'm not going to complain because it did work out for Oscar, but it takes away from that, you know, we all look forward to that
Lights out.
Lights out, that first corner at Spa as well, it's just always you're grinding your teeth, you're on the edge of your seat. So to have that taken away was like a bit shitty.
Especially after waiting an hour and a half to start. I
Yeah.
just think, like you said before, why did it take so long? Just be a bit quicker with your decisions. Just be a bit more snappy. And like Max said at the start, just start the race. Go around a few times. Those cars driving around, they'll lift the water. Nothing lifts the water better than the cars running on that track. I just think they did err on the side of caution. Were they too cautious? I don't know, but then it's hard. It's hard
And
to.
this is the thing, right? And we're constantly talking about it. It's becoming one of the biggest discussion points, and that is that the rules are just flipping flopping all over the place. What's going to happen the next race? Obviously, I get it. Weather is so unpredictable. But at the end of the day, when it comes to these protocols and the FIA making decisions, like they just need to be more swift with it.
And more consistent, so we know what's going to happen. Even the commentators had ideas and about what was happening, and Martin Brundle was adamant that it was eating into race time. 10 minutes later, no, it's not eating into race time. It's like they don't even know what's going on.
Oh, the team principals didn't even know if it was eating into race time. I'm pretty sure AO thought it was eating into race time when they crossed to him. So yeah, it's it's massive. It's always going to be a big discussion point for us. And I think, moving forward, are they going to be more consistent or are they not? And they constantly are proving that consistency isn't one of their priorities at all.
No.
But it made for a really interesting start to the race.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I feel a bit robbed.
Yeah.
The hype and the build up of a wet weather race at Spa all weekend, I was excited. I was, we've had 3 weeks off. This is exactly what we want to watch as a fan.
Yeah.
And really, what did we get? Lando do track limits a couple of times. We didn't have any spins. We had nothing really for a wet weather race. You expect a bit more. I don't want to see the drivers crash, but have a moment. Spin the car, do something. We
have a little wobble.
As far as excitement and things went, there was not much going on.
Nah. It was like, oh, who's going to come into the pit?
Yeah. And I don't know if it's because my expectations were so high that then they were not met.
Yeah.
As opposed to if it was just a regular race weekend with no weather question marks, what we would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always going to be that risk versus reward, right? The long delay, absolutely, in my opinion, was a missed opportunity to really push for just an adrenaline-filled race.
Yeah, I know.
What we all were waiting for.
I know.
But, safety first, and absolutely. And then it just goes to show as well, what the different driver empathy spectrum of, as we were just saying, Verstappen and Hamilton versus Leclerc and Piastri. Is that because they're, thinking it's unsafe to drive, or are they just being a little bit strategic there because they want to get their place in front?
No, which, brings us to the race and the rolling start.
The rolling start on lap 5.
The rolling start.
So the safety car went in after 4 laps, and then we had the rolling start.
One, Oscar Piastri gets Lando Norris, and really that was it.
That was
See you later.
It was done. And it's so great because this morning I've been seeing so many comments online about people giving Oscar a new nickname, the Aussie Assassin. Oh, yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, that's good. He got Lando and it was signed, sealed, delivered. I did not expect that.
Yeah. It was clean. It was nice. It was, I really enjoyed that from Oscar.
I thought they would ease it in a bit, do a couple of laps, find where the grip is, the safety car's gone in, just be a bit cautious. No, there was no caution there. Pedal to the metal, Aussie Assassin comes through, bam, done.
Makes it rain.
Everyone can go home. That's it, literally.
Yeah. No, it was interesting because Oscar was saying that he didn't even lift through Eau Rouge either. So on that first lap.
And Lando did.
Yeah. No, it was just, really great from Oscar. There's not much to talk about that other than, there was a point in time where towards the end of the race where I was getting a bit nervy for Oscar, obviously because he was on the mediums. Lando was not on the hard. He had done, oh God, how many laps did he do on those mediums? It was 26 or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what's going to happen here?
He was so chill. Can you go to the end?
I
was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Can we do it?
Of course I can.
Yeah. Sorry.
And he did have he did have that, nearly 10-second buffer to Lando, which I think
Yeah,
he could nurse those tyres a little bit more probably and
absolutely.
manage his pace.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Oscar was on it all weekend. And I think aside from qualifying where he could have done better and been on pole, if, after that first practice session, if someone had said, who's your money on, it would have been Oscar.
Yeah.
So I think, it was well deserved. He drove a great race, and hats off to Oscar, the Aussie assassin, leading the Drivers' Championship and really just extending and cementing, you got to beat me or that's it. It's mine.
Yeah. And thank God your prediction for that didn't come through this week because I was panicked. I'm like, no, he's holding on to that championship.
When Lando got pole, I was like, ooh,
Manifestation
what?
magic.
No, but wasn't meant to be. And I think, Oscar deserved it. So well done, Oscar.
Yeah. Well done, Oscar. We're
All
so
right,
thrilled.
let's talk about a few other storylines we had in the race because there were storylines everywhere.
Everywhere. Can I tell you what my highlight was?
Go on.
Pit lane to P7 Hamilton.
Oh,
My God.
and we don't often see it from Ferrari where their strategy is just crisp and on point. Bringing Lewis in that one lap earlier for that tyre change, hey, he chopped like 6 or 7 cars. I was like, Ferrari, well done.
Yeah.
Feather in the cap. That was chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. It was brilliant. And then, as I was saying earlier, like we were just constantly waiting to see who was going to pit first. And then it was Lewis, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah. And when you've got nothing to lose, like you can just try those alternate strategies and hope that something sticks. And it obviously worked really well for them. But in addition to that, Lewis was driving like a man possessed, overtaking, moving through the field.
A little so many of his overtakes. I was like, sheesh.
I know. And I'm like, if he had have just qualified a little bit better, what was to be? Like,
oh, I know.
was
What
just
should have
like-
put her right? It's just
know.
like, wow.
And
Like,
Ferrari
what a bounce back.
Ferrari did bring that rear suspension upgrade this weekend, and but I'm obviously because both of the cars qualified, so different. Was the good result more driver led, or is that rear suspension performing? And is this is this what we're going to be seeing from Ferrari moving forward?
Yeah.
Or was this just Charles and Lewis are absolute weapons and they made the difference this weekend? So I think that'll be nice to see in the coming weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like earlier, I know we've already touched on this, but when Lewis first went out, obviously he had that rear wheel lock up, and that was kind of a bit triggering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this
the
the upgrade?
Yeah.
But when it came to the race, they obviously took advantage of the fact that he did go out in Q1 and chuck a new power unit in.
Why not?
Because why not? Yeah, we can handle a pit lane start easy. And let's just gamble on the tyre. And he bloody recovered. Seriously, like it's just hats off to him. Seriously.
No, well done, Lewis. And I think, just sticking with Ferrari, we did say we were ready to see some red on that podium. I would have liked to see a little bit more red, if I'm not going to lie. 2 red flashes would have been better than one.
If you had 2 red flashes, I would have only had 1 orange flash, and that can't happen.
Well, you've had a lot of podium success this year with your boys at McLaren. So
Give me
I think
more.
it's only
Give me
fair
more.
you start to share the
the
love.
ball.
Share the love.
I'm happy to.
No, I think, Charles, he drove a great race as well, and he qualified well. Best of the rest. When you've got McLaren so significantly faster, I think he couldn't have done any better.
Oh, yeah.
And just so nice to see a Ferrari on the podium. It's been a while and it's not what we're used to from them. So it's just, really nice to see. And I think gives them a little bit of a boost going into Hungary next week. And hopefully whatever upgrades they bring after the summer break are just going to keep them on this upward trajectory. And we're going to just want to see a race win from Lewis Hamilton. I want to see a race win from Charles. Give us something. Like the last Ferrari to win a race was Carlos Sainz, and he's not even on the team anymore. He's a Williams. God knows what. We'll get into that.
Go here.
We'll get into Carlos because I don't know what was going on this weekend, but
yeah, no. But no, like even with Charles, like he really did run a really great race, and he had the pressure on from Max the whole race.
I know. And he said that himself. He said, I had Max 2 seconds behind me for ages, and when you got Max behind you, you're
There's nothing else going on. You are just
you're anxious. Yeah.
that you have to protect that
Tensions are
line.
high.
Yeah. And we could hear that on his radio.
Yeah, Honestly, if you saw Max Verstappen in your rearview mirror, for me, that's the equivalent of swimming in the ocean and just seeing a great white shark. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Instead of dun dun, it's dun dun dun. The whole time,
Max
the whole race, it would
Verstappen.
just be playing in your mind.
Literally, what a tune. But no, yeah. So well done, Charles, for holding him back, especially at Spa. That is no mean feat, for
Well
sure.
done, Ferrari. Well done.
Yeah. So then, yeah, Max Verstappen started the weekend off just wow. What is?
Jason?
And then when we had that forecast for rain, I was like, I'll
Watch
go
out.
home. Max has been dancing. I think deep down Max thought it's gonna rain. I'm gonna be able to just make up those spots, and wasn't meant to be. So I think he'll be writing a lengthy email to the racing director about the importance of wet races for the sport, but we shall see.
I'm sure we will.
We thought this weekend you were going to get your first points with Red Bull Racing, and it was looking so promising at the beginning, wasn't it?
It really was. What went wrong?
Waiting that 1 lap extra to pit. You don't know. That could have made the difference.
Yeah.
But we'll never know. Wasn't meant to be this weekend. But I just think, like we said before, and for Liam Lawson as well, and Hadjar, all of them got caught up when Lewis pitted early. He literally skipped all of them in the race. So I think it was more of a strategic blunder than a personal driver error.
Yeah.
So they can take that away from the weekend. Not that it's going to, make them feel any better, but at least they know that it's not something that on their end they had much control over.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. It's one of those things that happened in the race, and they just didn't come out strong in the end.
And something else I wanted to talk to you about also with Red Bull and Racing Bulls. I know we touched on it earlier this season that all the rumors are pointing to the fact that Yuki Tsunoda is going to be dropped at the end of the season. He doesn't have a contract for next year. With the changing of team principals, do you think Yuki's chance of retaining his seat are higher? Why and why not?
Great question. Yeah, look, I feel like there is a possibility of him retaining his seat. I think even just with this race, although in the race itself, he didn't come out with any points and didn't really make any significant impact, he did have a better weekend overall. So I think Lauren will be taking that into account. He's a different kettle of fish, right?
Yeah. He's warm and fuzzy.
He's warm and fuzzy. He also knows Yuki well.
And that's what I was getting at. They have a really great relationship.
Yeah.
Do you think that will have any impact on whether or not they do keep Yuki?
Obviously, he's going to have a lot of pressure, and I'm talking about Laurent. He will have a lot of pressure to make sure that at the beginning of 2026, they've got a team that is going to be in the points week out, and he's going to really use this time at the end half of this year to put the effort into Yuki to see where he can help him and where he's lacking and what that he can improve on. And because they've already got that close relationship, it's just going to work better for Yuki. The relationship that Yuki would have had with Christian Horner.
Exactly. And Yuki said that himself, a smile from the pit lane and a wave or nod or a thumbs up goes a long way. And at the end of the day, F1 is a results-based sport. If you're not performing, regardless of that relationship, you're going to get dropped. However, because they do have that relationship, I feel like Yuki will perform better, which in turn will have effect on his performance, his results, and whether or not Red Bull do want to keep him. So I think this is Yuki's best chance of staying at the team now with Laurent there. I'm sure as soon as he heard the news, he was ecstatic because
absolutely.
Yeah, he'll feel supported.
That's what they want, right?
Yeah.
That's what they need, really. Deep down, they're human. They need that connection, and they just want to be supported. Like, they're all going to go through the rough patches. They're all going to go through the highs and the lows, and it's just like making sure that there's just this one solid hand that's there to go, you're all good. Let's
Yeah,
move on.
exactly
Whether
right.
it's good or bad.
And that's going to be Laurent for Yuki, I think. So hopefully this has a positive effect on him. And then I want to be saying, of course, Yuki's keeping his seat. They'd be stupid to drop him. That's what I want us to be saying in 4 or 5 races' time.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really a shame to see Yuki go from the team that he's put so much effort into. And we've seen him grow up through the years. That erratic, crazy driver on the radio, swearing and carrying on.
Do you
And
think they could censor him a little bit more now?
yeah, probably. And,
I think
turning
he's still
into,
in there a little bit.
oh, he's definitely in there. But
Yeah.
dive bombing on Daniel Ricciardo when they were teammates. I think he's come so far, and it would be an amazing story if this is how it goes for him, and we do see him turn the tide
Yeah.
and really cement his position as a Red Bull racing driver. So, what else do we need to talk about, Al? Anything else about the race?
Is there anything else about
There is. I've got some things I need to talk about for the race.
Yeah, you go.
I don't know why, and I was looking and I was trying to investigate why did they pit Nico Hulkenberg when he's running in 10th in the points? No one around him has pitted yet. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Sauber, we have come off an amazing high. He was on the podium last time around, and we were on for double Sauber point finish.
Keep your shit together.
What were they doing?
Don't
Who were
know.
they covering off?
They
No one
weren't.
pitted. Why did you pit him? I was
Someone
just
went
like,
blind in that moment. That's all I can say.
what? Why?
Yeah.
Lucky they didn't pick Gabby. At least they got those points. But they could have had another point, and they just literally just threw it and put it in the bin. They just went, here, take it, Gasly. We don't want it. Fuck.
Oh
It
yeah.
really
no.
annoyed me.
Yeah.
Really, really annoyed me.
Yeah. You seem extremely annoyed by this.
Oh, well, I was just like, who's advising them to do these things, these random things? Like, don't come into the pits first.
Yeah.
If you're running in the points and doing well, why gamble? What do you get? Like, why are you gambling?
I agree.
You don't have many points to play with as it is. Don't be throwing these points away,
We need to be grabbing those points, not just lopping them over into the bloody horizon.
No, that's really annoying. That was my main point. Anyway.
You know what? At least Gabby's still got a point.
Yeah, exactly. And
We'll take what we can. Something is better than nothing.
yes.
But get well soon, Sauber. Get well soon.
Gosh. And then Lando Norris.
Lando.
It was just a bit like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, they were both out in front. It was a bit bland. Something that I was really shocked about was the fact that that McLaren didn't do the double pit stop, the double stack.
Yeah. There was a lot of question around that.
Oh, really? Should they have done that? Because, I think Lando may have had a better chance then. Again, he still did really well to keep up and catch Oscar. He had 2 major slip-ups in the last couple of laps, which he dropped
3 seconds altogether.
3 seconds or something. Yeah, which then he would have been in the DRS zone and then would have been able to try and make a last-minute move on Oscar. Whether he would have tried to do that or not is a different story in those conditions.
I personally don't think he would have had the chance. I think it was going to work out that he'd be in DRS for the last lap. And we saw that overtaking, you had to be 5-6 tenths behind the car in front. And I just don't think it would have happened. And we do know that Oscar was managing pace and nursing the tyres a little bit. I think if Lando had have crept up a bit, he would have just, put his foot down just that little bit more, because we did see him on his last lap times.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I don't think it would have made much of a difference personally.
Yeah.
It
just would have felt more. It just would have felt like there was something. There was hope, and there's a possibility of something happening. Because you don't know. Oscar could have had a slip up.
Yeah, if he felt the pressure.
What's your opinion? Do you think McLaren's kind of creating an internal championship tension by just this continuous? I mean, I love that they're letting them race.
They have
and
to.
I absolutely think that should be the case all the time. But do you feel like now that we're halfway through the season, that tension is starting to build, although they don't seem on the outside to be showing that?
For sure. I think as each race goes on, and we saw it again today, Oscar was rapt that he won. Fist pumping. I think he had a few swear words on the radio. which we don't see from him all the time. It's really unusual behavior for him to show. So I definitely think he was, yes, I've extended my championship, amazing, which is a shame. I want to be getting on-track battles. They're qualifying 1 and 2. They're 1 and 2 in the Drivers' Championship. I want to see wheel-to-wheel racing. Like, it was just a bit, ugh, you know? There was
And I just
nothing.
feel like, as well, as we start to get to the pointy end of the year and when it's going to really start to matter, I think we're going to see less and less of that, which is really disappointing because you do want them to be just nudging and really pushing to one up one another. But I do feel like that they're not, either one of them are not going to want to push beyond that because they don't want to have something terrible happen.
Yeah.
Or completely lose out or lose points by DNFing or what would happen with Lando a few weeks ago.
I think if the gap continues to increase in Oscar's favor, we'll see more
push from Lando.
push from Lando, and not even a push. I think we'll see more risk from Lando because it'll turn into him. You know, I think at the moment he's being risk adverse because he doesn't want that gap to increase. He doesn't want to have a moment go off and lose 18 points or whatever that may be. If Oscar continues to beat Lando and that widens, Lando will feel more like, oh, I've got nothing to lose. He's already in front. I'm going to, push a bit here and push a bit there. And I think we'll see more of that fight in him because when when you're so far behind, you've got to take those risks to really try and capitalize.
Yeah.
But while they're so close, I just think they're both playing it safe. So they just continually just nudge kind of up slowly.
And that will be the case until they are absolutely clear of that person that's sitting in third in the standings.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And then also the same for the constructors.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's signed, sealed, delivered.
In the bag?
Really.
Yeah.
Like, they may as well put the trophy on the wall now, like clear the spot and see you later. Constructors trophies up there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so much to talk about. We also did get confirmation verbal confirmation from Toto. It'll be Kimi and George next year. But rumors are that it's only another 1-year contract, which he's holding out for Max Verstappen.
Yep.
He's literally doing anything he can to make sure Max Verstappen, whether it's 26, 27, walks into Mercedes and is a Mercedes driver.
Well, he just wants, he's giving himself the opportunity to be able to make that decision if it ever comes to it.
Yeah, and he's not being quiet about it. He's being so open and honest about it. Yeah, when they were talking about Sardinia and apparently, we can't holiday next to each other anymore. And he never said I didn't meet with him.
Yeah.
He never said it once.
No.
So, you want to be open and honest. You're not flat out denying it. So we know you met up, guys. We know.
We know you had a limoncello spritz together. Yeah, no.
God, I think what we can take from the weekend as a whole was a great weekend for McLaren, promising for Ferrari. Red Bull's kind of thereabouts where we expected them to be. And then all the other teams are just so close that best of the rest is anyone's game at any moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just continues to make this year for us so exciting and just so enjoyable to watch every race because you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, for sure. And we did touch on it a little bit before, but Alex Albon, P5 in the sprint and then P6 in the race. Just a great haul of points for Williams. They just need to kind of sort out what's happening with Carlos because we know what he's capable of and it's just not really translating at the moment, is it?
No, not at all. Do we think Carlos is in trouble there?
No, because I know he's on a multi-year contract and I don't think James is that kind of rash. We saw James with
Logan.
Yeah, Logan Sargent. We saw James give him every opportunity to perform. So if you're going to be that lenient with Logan Sargent, he's going to really give time to Carlos to adapt and whatnot into that car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully he can pick up a little bit and we shall see.
Yes. I'm wanting to see a little bit more of Carlos.
Yeah, we really didn't really see him at all this weekend. And he didn't have the answers as well, which is kind of a shame. I think in qualifying, he said, the lap I did, I don't know how I went slower in Q2 than I did in Q1. And when you don't know why, that's kind of when alarm bells start ringing because it's like, you can't fix that. You can't correct that. You don't know why. But they've gone home, seen the data. Maybe something's popped up that they weren't aware of. And hopefully we see Carlos back stronger than ever because, yeah, that's what we want to see from him. We know he's capable of that.
We do.
All right. Well, I think that rounds out Spa.
It does, yeah. You know, we're very excited to have had the weekend that we did. A lot of discussion points, but we're really excited for next week at Hungary.
Budapest.
What are we thinking of Budapest?
Yeah, I'm excited just to have another race straight back to back. Love that for us. I think whoever wins next weekend out of the McLaren boys, if it is one of the McLaren boys that wins the championship. I just feel like they're going to go into summer break on a high.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I think absolutely it's going to be one of the McLaren boys. And I really do hope it's Oscar. Oscar won his first race there last year. And look how far he's come in those 12 months.
What a race that was.
From winning his first race 12 months ago to leading the championship and most likely going to take it out. So, yeah, it's incredible. I really do hope it is a win for him because it'll be a full circle moment.
Not shrouded in the drama of last year's Grand Prix.
Yes.
And look how far the McLaren boys have come since then as well.
I know, bless. Very exciting for Budapest.
All right, well, is that your prediction?
That
Oscar
that's
is going
my
to win?
prediction. I'm going Oscar as my P1. Do I think he's going to be on pole? I'm actually going to say that he's not going to be on pole. I think that it's going to be a Ferrari on pole.
Really?
Yep.
Which one? Which one?
I'm going to go with Charles just because he has that momentum. Needed that podium today. It'll carry him through to next week. I think they often fly around this track in qualifying from memory. I could be wrong. But yeah, I'm going to put Charles on pole, but then I'm going to have Oscar on P1. Who are you putting on pole?
Lando Norris.
Yeah.
Lando, I think, just is not going to want to let Oscar run away with it before summer break.
Okay.
And just remind everyone, I'm still in the fight. Don't count me out. I'm still here and I am very capable. So I think Lando Norris is going to be on pole. I also think he's going to win. And yeah. And then I think I'm going to go not a McLaren 1-2 because I'm just like, it's getting boring.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're going to have Charles and Lewis. And that's what I want in my heart.
She's seeing red.
I am. I've had a little taste for it and I'm just like going for it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So I'm going Lando, Charles, and Lewis on my podium.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw a P2 to Charles. So my pole sitter is going to be on P2. I'm going to go rogue with my P3. I'm feeling it. So
give it to me. Who is it? How rogue?
Nico Hulkenberg is like throwing me. I'm like, who else can we get up there? Do you know who else? Fernando Alonso.
Yeah. Aston this weekend, they showed so much pace and then they kind of just drowned on the side there in the rain. So I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. I'm putting Fernando on my P3. I'm just going with it.
The Adrian Newey era of Aston.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything's possible, especially with Fernando behind the wheel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With his moustache. Alrighty, well,
there are predictions.
Yeah, we're really excited to see what the last race before summer break is going to bring and what that means for the championship before we head into silly season.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Can't wait.
See you later.
Ciao.